3. We in fact, as a part of this particular program, Internships Made Easy with QuestionPro, we would like to encourage you people to complete your entire research project on the QuestionPro platform, attend all the 3 webinars. Once we have seen that a particular attendee has attended all the 3 webinars and has conducted his or her research project on the QuestionPro platform, we will also be certifying you people as QuestionPro certified researcher. So this is the part 1. You will shortly receive invitations for registrations to the part 2 and part 3 webinars, which will be happening subsequently, right? So coming to the point, market research. Now, what exactly is market research? You all people being MBA students and believe you must have had a subject on market research in your first year itself. So just a brief of market research. What market research is, it is systematically gathering data about people or companies, which in fact would be a market, and then analyzing it. So whatever data has been collected needs to be analyzed to better understand what that group of people needs. So if you're a marketing student, if you're planning to do a short research on, say, a product launch, or do a research on how your target market is, so the external customers would be the people or companies whose data you will be asking a few questions to them and gathering some data and doing an analysis based on the responses. If you are from an HR background, probably the employees, internal employees would be your target market. You can have employee surveys created. You can have some questions asked to the employees, and then you can probably do a research on employee satisfaction, etc. So basically, market research is gathering of data and then analyzing it. Now, once we have gathered the data, all the data that we have gathered needs to be put in a format wherein we can derive some reports. We can do some analysis out of it. So we will have to prepare reports out of all the collected data. That is all about reports. And then why market research is conducted, or any kind of research is conducted, is basically it is conducted to make some informed decisions about the company's strategies, operations, and potential customer base. So research, in fact, is a very integral part of any business. And you being from the management side, you all will be working into management side, and you will have to conduct certain research activities in your future endeavors as well. However, coming to this particular point, you will be, during internships, you will have to do research project. It can be any topic. You can choose any topic and you will have to do research project, wherein you will have to design a questionnaire, probably collect data, sending it out to people, whatever your target market is, and then do analysis of the collected data, right? So again, now market research can be of 2 types. It can be primary market research or a secondary market research. So what a primary market research is wherein you yourself ask a few questions to the respondents, collect data out of them, and then analyze that first-hand data. Secondary market research would be wherein you collect data from, say, some websites or some sources that are available online. You collect data from there and do analysis out of it. So we majorly will be focusing on primary market research, right? You all will be required to do primary market research during this internship period. Now, how QuestionPro is going to be your research partner? So you all must be aware that QuestionPro has got into an association of with your institute, wherein we have given out academic license of the software to the institute, under which each one of you have individual QuestionPro accounts. Now, what QuestionPro is, again, just giving you a short introduction again, it's an online service software company. So basically the software is used to conduct online service. So from wherever you are, and if you have internet connectivity, you can simply design your service on this particular platform. You can send it out using different mediums that we have. You can have the data collected into your account, and then using the reporting module that QuestionPro has, you can analyze the collected data. In addition to this, so we have already provided the access to you people, but then we have taken up this initiative of this particular program, Internships Made Easy with QuestionPro, so that we can assist you at each and every point during your internship period. So we will be covering a few pointers during this webinars. However, in case you have any questions while you are doing your project, if you have any queries, what you can do is, I would just hop onto a slide wherein you can see this email address. So I would like you to please make a note of this email address, that is edu-india@questionpro.com. So at any point of time during your internships or before you submit your project reports to your colleges, whenever you're stuck with any queries, please feel free to write to edu-india@questionpro.com, and a QuestionPro manager will get back to you with answers to your queries. So the questions can be anything related to your research topic, anything related to how to design a particular question, or maybe design a particular survey, or maybe how to use survey logic, or how to send it out, how to analyze your survey. So the questions can be anything. You can simply write to this particular email address, and a QuestionPro manager will immediately get back to you and help you with your queries. Meanwhile, during this webinar as well, you can see a chat window onto your system. If you have any questions, you can feel free to write in your questions, and we will try and answer maximum number of questions that are coming in. If in case your question is not answered, you can write us to edu-india@questionpro.com, and we will definitely help you with it. Right? Right. So as I said, QuestionPro is going to help you in collecting primary data. So what I'll be covering today is designing a survey on QuestionPro. I'll be giving you an overview on the edit survey tab. So we have different tabs. As I said, we have a tab for editing a survey, that is designing your service, designing a questionnaire. Then we have a tab to send the surveys out. Then we have a tab for reports, that is analysis, and then managing your data, etc., etc. So today we'll be covering only designing survey. In the next part, we will be coming to the survey logic and the send survey options, right? So I'll quickly hop on to my QuestionPro account. So this is the website. In fact, I would like to make a point here that we have already created accounts for all of you. So each one of you have already QuestionPro accounts created. If in case you do not have a QuestionPro account created, still you can write to the same email ID, that is edu-questionpro, edu-india@questionpro.com, and we'll have your accounts created. Okay, so once you have, all of you have your accounts created, so this is the website that you will have to visit to log into the account, questionpro.com/in. So you can see a sign in link over here. Once you click on this, sorry for that, give me a moment. Right, so I had already logged in. However, what I'll do is I'll just log out and go to the login page so that you understand what all details would be required to log into an account. So I click on login. This is the login page. So you people will have to enter in the email address with which your account has been created, and the password that you have set for your QuestionPro account. If in case you are not able to recollect the password that you had set for your QuestionPro account, you can simply click on this particular link. I can't log in or I forgot my username password. Once you click on this and follow the steps, you will have your new password generated, and you can use that password to log into your accounts. So I simply enter in my email address, I enter in my password, I click on login. Right. I hope you all can see my current window. So once I log into my QuestionPro account, see by default now what has happened is I've already created a lot of surveys into my account. So all the surveys have been listed down over here. All the surveys that I've created into my account are listed down over here. When you log in for the first time, you will not be able to see this particular window. But once you start creating surveys, you will see all the surveys listed down. Now, you can have multiple folders created. Now, if you wish to segregate the surveys that you are creating into say different folders so that it becomes easier for you people to find your surveys, you can simply create a new folder from here or edit existing folder and then add the surveys into that particular folder. So once you have all the once you have a few surveys listed, you can see a few action items over here. You can see the created date, last modified date. You can see the status, whether it is active or inactive. You can see how many responses you have got for that particular survey, and then a few actions like edit this survey, send this survey reports, copy, etc. I can see a few questions coming in. I'll just check. Okay, no worries. Right. So yeah, so you can see all these action items over here. So whenever you are creating a survey for your research topic that you have selected, to create a new survey, what you will have to do is you'll have to click on create survey button over here. Once you log in for the first time, you will not see this particular layout. However, you can see a few options. You can see all these options. I've clicked on create new survey. You can see all these options over here. So there are three ways of creating a new survey. You can start from scratch. That is, you can start creating survey from scratch. You will have to, by clicking on this, you will have to first name the survey, then start adding questions one by one. So you have identified your research topic. You have a few questions uh, in your mind that you want to ask the respondents, and then basis on that you want to do research. So you will have to start adding all these things from one by one from beginning. Then the other way of creating a survey is you can select a template. So we have 70 plus professionally designed templates that have already into your account. So you can select any one template. For example, if you're doing say a survey on say website satisfaction. So we have a template for website satisfaction which has 14 questions. So once you click on this, you can see that particular template. You can preview it from here, or maybe if you want to use it, you can use it. So there are 14 questions, ready-made questions available. You will simply have to edit a few things here and there, and then the survey would be up and running. So you can select, similarly you can select, so if you're doing employee feedback, you are from an HR specialization and you want to do an employee feedback survey, you can select this particular template and then start using that survey, right? This is, so selecting a template is another way of creating a survey. The third way of creating a survey is importing from a Microsoft Word document. For example, you have discussed with your, say, your project guide or your internal guide, your professor, you have certain set of questionnaires already prepared onto a Microsoft Word document. Now you do not want to do rework on this, start adding each and every question. So say there are 20, 25 questions and you do not want to add these questions individually. So what you can do is, instead of creating a survey from scratch, you can simply click on import from Microsoft Word document, and then whatever questions you have on a Word document, you can simply import them and your survey would be up and running. The only catch over here is the Word document needs to be in a specific format. So once you click on this, you can see a sample Microsoft Word document. So this is the format, this is the template. You'll have to prepare, or whatever questionnaire you have on a Word document, you will have to convert that Word document into this particular format, and then you can upload it, and the survey, once you have uploaded, the survey would be up and running. So these are the three ways of creating a survey. So templates and importing a Microsoft Word document is quite straightforward. We will be covering how to create a survey from scratch, so that I can show you all the question types, how to edit these questions, etc. Right? So before starting with that, I would like to throw some light on how important a survey design is. So whenever you are doing a research project or you want to collect data from respondents, the survey design or preparing a questionnaire becomes a very, very important part, right? So say you have chosen a research topic, right? Then what questions should I ask so that I get answers to what exactly I'm trying to derive out of this research topic? So designing a survey and then having right questions asked becomes very, very important. So we usually in the research field, we call it as a whether the survey or the questionnaire has been tested for validity. So what exactly is validity? Validity basically is questions that truly measure the issues of importance. So you have chosen a particular topic. So the questions in your survey should be in such a way that the issues of importance in that particular topic are only covered. So no vague questions are asked in your survey. You should make sure that no vague questions are asked in your survey. So basically the definition of validity of a survey is uh, it is considered to be the degree to which it measures what it claims to measure. So what your research topic is, what you want to measure out of it, the questions should be in such a way that only important things are asked. Another few things that you can keep in mind while designing a survey is you should always try to keep your survey short, because there will be respondents answering to your surveys. If you have lengthy questions, say 20, 30, 40 questions, the respondents, there is a possibility that they are not motivated to answer all your questions, and then you will not be able to gather proper information out of this question. So you should keep your survey short. Probably you can use more close-ended questions. So for example, if you're using text questions in your surveys, so instead of text questions, now QuestionPro supports 36 plus question types. There are different questions. Whatever question type that you people can think of, all these question types are available into QuestionPro platform. So instead of using, say, a text question and asking the respondent to describe or enter in a lot of text, you can choose any one of the question types that we are providing and then make it easier for the respondent to answer. Also, what you will have to do is you'll have to make your surveys a bit smart. So for example, smart, how you can make a survey smart is QuestionPro also supports some survey logic that you can use to make your survey smart. For example, I'll give you an example. There are a few questions in your survey. Some of the questions are meant for, say, only male. Some of the questions are meant only for female, right? So you can have all these questions into the survey, but then the first question of your survey can be, what is your gender? Male, female. So if somebody is responding as a male, you intend to show only the questions that are meant for males to this particular respondent. Similarly, if somebody is selecting female, then you want to show only the questions that are meant for female. So this can be achieved, this and a lot of things can be achieved by using different survey logic. We'll be covering the logic part in the next webinar. So these are the few things that you'll have to keep in mind while designing your survey. I'll move on to starting a survey from scratch, how to add questions, what all question types are available, etc. So to do that, I'll have to click on start from scratch. I click on this, you'll be asked to name a survey. Say I name it as webinar part 1 and click on create. Once I click on create, I will be redirected. I will enter into this particular survey. You can see surveys, my surveys, webinar part 1. And this is the workspace wherein you will have to start creating your survey. So as I said earlier, we have a edit tab, send tab, reports tab. All these tabs would be covered. Today we'll be concentrating on edit tab and all the sub tabs that are available over here. right? So once I enter into the survey, you can see I'm currently under workspace. If you want to add a title or a header to your survey, you can do it from here. This is inline editing. Uh, I will again name it as webinar part 1. Say this is the header. Before adding questions, I'll show around a few things. Like if you want to have a footer to your survey, I click on edit footer. Once you click on this small window will come up wherein you can type in the footer. Say you can again play around with this text if you want to make it bold, italic, right? You want to change the font, you want to change the font size, etc. I'll just make it center align. If you want to have a hyperlink, say I want to hyperlink the footer to a particular website, I simply select this, put in the URL, okay, and save the changes. So you can see the footer has come up over here, right? I've added a header, I've added a footer, I'll start adding questions now. So adding questions as in I'll just take you through what all question types that we have. So to add a question to your survey, you will have to first click on add question. So you can see, as I said earlier, we support 36 plus question types. So there are some basic questions and there are some advanced questions as well, right? If some of you must have already attended a training workshop that we had conducted for your institute, you can see the user interface has changed a bit. So QuestionPro strives to make life easier for the users, and we come up with some new upgrades every week. So the user interface has been upgraded now, and it has become a lot easier for a new user to understand the functionalities. Right, coming back to the question types, as I said, we have some basic question types, we have advanced question types. These are all the question types. I'll be covering them one by one. Before that, so this is the beginning of my survey, right? So I say I want to have an introduction text. I want to send it out to respondents, but then I want to have an introduction text so that respondents can read through it and understand what exactly this research work is about. So for that, you can see under basic, you have a question type called presentation text, right? So presentation text is basically a text question type wherein you can have some descriptive text. So you can write in an intro text, say, hi, this is a research project that I'm conducting for this particular company, and this intends to cover a particular topic. You can mention the topic. It will take, say, 5 minutes of yours to answer the survey, etc., etc. So you can write in whatever introduction that you wish to give out. So I'll just write here, right? I want to, you can see an option, rich content editor. I click on this. You get the options to say you want to make it, again, just play around with this particular text, make it bold. You want to change the alignment, you want to change the font, you can do all these things and just click on save. So this is how I've added an introduction text to my survey. Now, once I've added an introduction text, you can see 2 buttons to add questions. So if in case at any point of time you have designed a survey, you feel that you need to add a question before a particular question or after a particular question, so you can see these 2 buttons available over here. So if you want to add a question before Q1, you can click on this and a new question will be added in this particular area. If you want to add a question after Q1, you can simply click on this. So I'll come to the question types now. So under basic question types, as I said earlier, whatever question types that you can think of, we have all the question types supported on this particular platform. So it becomes easier, whatever research topic you have, and then considering the validity of the survey, You can choose any question types out of this, right? So coming to the first question type, that is multiple choice. We have multiple choice questions in which we have select one, select many, and a drop down question. So select one, you can see on the right hand side, you can see an example of this particular question type. So select one is, say, the how often do you conduct surveys, and the answer options are weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, right? So you can see there are radio buttons. So the respondent will be able to select only one answer option out of this. If in case you want to give out options to select multiple answer options to the respondent, then you can add select many. You can see the select many. What type of credit cards do you have? And then you can see there are check boxes over here. So respondents can select multiple answer options out of this. So if you do not want to use a select one or select many and want to use a drop down menu, then you can use this question type. How often do you conduct surveys? And then there will be answer options, say weekly, fortnightly, monthly, yearly, etc. All these answer options will appear in a drop down, and the respondent can select a particular value from the drop down. So I will add one question. I'll show you how you add a question, how you edit these questions, and a few settings that you can do with this question. So once I click on, I select a particular question type, you can see the question appearing. You will have to type in the question text over here, say how often so this is the question that you wish to ask. And then again, you have a rich content editor over here. If you again want to change the font size or maybe the font, etc., you can do it from here. And then answer options, you'll have to add the answer options over here: weekly, monthly. Add another option. I click on this. Click on this. So similarly, you can go on adding another answer options. You can have as many answer options that you wish to have. So this is how you edit a particular question. If you want to make this particular question mandatory so that respondent cannot move forward without answering this question, you can simply enable this. So this becomes mandatory. There are a few settings that you can do. So for example, if you want to change the radio buttons to check boxes, you can do it from here. If you want to change it to a drop down menu, you can do it from here. Also, in fact, I would like to inform you people is QuestionPro has entire knowledge base uploaded onto its website. So at any point of time, see, we are there to help you people with any queries. But if in case you do not want to reach out to us and help yourself, what you can do is you can simply go to questionpro.com/help. You can find the entire knowledge base available over here. So there will be help files. If you're looking for a particular feature, you can simply search for that feature and you can find help files for that feature along with screenshots, which are quite self-explanatory. In addition to this, you can see this particular window coming up. So you people are entitled to 24/7 technical support. At any point of time you are stuck with any query, you can simply get on an online chat from here, and a support representative will be always available. So this support is 24/7. So at any point of time you can simply get on an online chat and there will be a representative answering whatever queries that you have, right? So you can see this particular option over here. You can begin the online chat from here. So I was explaining this because while you are building your survey, you can see a few question marks over here. So this question marks basically are the hyperlinks to corresponding help files. So now this answer type, you click on this, the corresponding help file will open up. So you can simply read through and you can understand what answer types are, what exactly these features do. Right. So moving on to the next question types. So similarly, select menu and drop down are quite similar. It can be edited in a similar way. The only difference being there would be check boxes appearing over here, and the respondent can answer multiple answer options. And in drop down menu, the answer options will come in a drop down. Right. Moving on to the next question type, that is text question type. Now, text question type is, again, as I said earlier, you should try and use the open-ended questions or maybe text questions very less into your service. However, there are some times when you are required to use text boxes, so we have the provision for that as well. So under text boxes, you can see comment box. So comment box, you can see a comment box. So for example, you wish to have a description of anything or maybe additional comments. So you can have this question type included into the survey. So I clicked on this. You can see comments and suggestions. So instead of comments and suggestions, say you want to use a single row text. So if you want to capture the respondent's name, in that case, you will have to use a single row text. So you can simply go to settings. You can see single row text. So these are all the options available. By default, a comment box is a multiple row text because there will be multiple rows of description that a respondent can enter. But if you're capturing a name, for example, you can use single row text. If you're capturing a numeric data, for example, you are capturing a phone number, you can use numeric data, which will again be a single row text, but with numeric input. If you're capturing an email address, you can click on this and you can capture email address over here. Right? So I'll keep it as multiple row text. So you can, if you wish to edit, you can change the, say for example, for the text box, if you wish to have some prefix or suffix, you can add the prefix suffix from here. If you want to change the cell width and height and width of that particular box, you can change it from here. Data population, for example, if now, as I said earlier, to make your survey smarter, you are sending out your survey to a particular person and you already know the name of the person. So in your survey, if you have, say, a text box, single row text asking name, so instead of asking the respondent to enter in the name, there is a way wherein you can have the data pre-populated over there. So for example, you are sending it to me, that is Tejas. So instead of asking me to write in or type in my name over there, you can pre-populate it. So there are ways to do it, which will definitely be covered in the part 2 webinar. But you can see these are custom variables. I'll be giving you a short overview and you can understand what these are, and this will be covered in detail in the next webinar. So this was, if you want to change the question text, you can do it from here. Similarly, under text question, we have email address. Now we have a separate question type for email address because this particular question type, you can validate if the respondent is entering a valid email address, right? For example, what this question type will check is whether the input that the respondent has given is in a proper email format. So for example, if somebody is typing in tejas.mughal space @ QuestionPro.com, so this is not a valid email format, right? So there will be an error message that will be displayed and the respondent will be asked to enter in the valid email address. So you can use this if you want to capture email addresses of the respondents. Then we have a question type called contact information. So contact information question type is wherein you say you wish to, instead of having multiple text boxes, what you can do is you can have a single question, consolidated question, wherein you can have all the details, contact information captured. That is, like, for example, you can see on the right hand side, first name, last name, phone, email address, if you wish to capture the mailing address as well. So all this information will be captured in one question itself. So this was all about the text question types. Moving forward to the graphical rating question types. So yes, now these are quite extensively used. Like if anybody is collecting a feedback of something, the graphical rating questions are quite extensively used. So you people must be well aware of this particular question types. So this is how we support the star rating question type as well. Then we support text slider, numeric slider, thumbs up, smiley rating, etc. So you can see an example of star rating question. How satisfied are you with the following? So there will be one question and there will be say 3, 4, 5 different attributes, and there will be stars available, and the respondent can give out his responses or maybe the feedback or the star rating based on his experience on the following things. So how this can be edited is I select the star rating question. You can see the question come up. You can change the row text from here. If you want to add additional rows, you can do it from here if you want to make it mandatory. If you want to edit all the rows in bulk, you can simply click on this. You can have multiple rows added. You can see website, customer service, product, etc. like support. So you can see all this row choices coming up, and you can see. So I'll just show you. See, if you want to preview this particular question, you can see this option over here, preview. I click on this. This is how this question would look like. So the respondent can simply give out ratings, right? You can see I had added a header that comes up. I had added a footer with the hyperlink that has also come up over here. So this was star rating question. Similarly, we have text slider. So it like some researchers also call it as a Likert scale, or in fact we call it as a text slider. So you can see an example on the right hand side. That is, the question can be how satisfied are you with the following. So instead of having a star rating question, you can have a slider. So people can give out responses like whether they are very dissatisfied, not satisfied, neutral, satisfied, etc. based on just sliding to the response. So these are variants of the same question type, that is graphical rating question type, but it depends upon the surveyor and the set of respondents that the surveyor has, which will be more suitable for that particular survey. So we have given out all these options, but then it depends completely on the surveyor which particular question type that can be used. As I said earlier, just to motivate the respondents to respond to all to your questions or make life easier for the respondents, you can use a lot of graphical rating questions in your surveys if in case your questions are in that particular way. So yes, star rating and text slider are again similar. I click on this, you will again get an option to edit the question text and the row options. Right, I'll come to push to social after I cover all these three things. So similar to text slider, we have a numeric slider. So you can ask the respondent to rate a particular thing on a scale of say 0 to 10. So that would be a numeric slider. Similar to text slider, numeric, just the thing is the rating scale will be say 0 to 10, 0 to 5, etc. Then we have a thumbs up, thumbs down question. You can see this example on the right hand side. What do you think about Starbucks? Do you like it? Do you hate it? So once you click on this, you can edit the question type. You can see a text called love it, hate it below the thumbs up, thumbs down icons. You can edit that text as well, like do you like it, do you dislike it, etc. And then we have a smiley rating questions. So instead of having a star rating question, you can also have a smiley rating question wherein different smiley faces for C. You can see extremely unsatisfied, satisfied, neutral, etc. All these smiley faces coming up. So what this does is it becomes easier for the respondent to understand what question, what you're trying to ask, and then it becomes easier for them to answer the question as well. So this was all about the graphical rating. I said I'll come to the push to social. Now push to social question type is quite an interesting question type. Now in this question type, what you can do is you can ask the respondent to give a feedback on a particular attribute, say, and based on the response, like if somebody is giving you a positive response, you can ask that respondent to push that positive response to his or her Facebook page. So you can see an example on the right hand side. How satisfied are you with the following, that is customer experience, and then you can see the option push to social if the rating is, and then from the drop down, say you want to push positive feedback, that is somebody who have rated you say 4-star or 5-star. So you can, from the drop down, you can select 4 stars. So anybody who has given a feedback above 4 and above, then that particular respondent will be asked to push it to his particular Facebook page or a Twitter handle, or maybe on LinkedIn as well. So you can see the options. So once somebody has given you a 4-star rating, the message that the survey taker will see is, thanks for the great rating, please share with your friends. You can edit this message as well, right? And the default, there would be a default sharing message as well. So there would be a message, you can mention whatever message you want that respondent to display it onto his Facebook page or Twitter, right? So you can edit that sharing message as well. So it is quite an interesting question type. So positive feedback, what happens with this is, if the respondent posts this positive feedback onto the social media pages, what happens is his followers or his friends can come to know that this particular person has given a really good feedback for your company, and this thus you can spread the word of mouth as well. If somebody is giving you a negative feedback, that particular respondent will not be asked to put it to his social media pages. So this is how you can use push to social question type. Moving on to the matrix table question types. So matrix table is, I'll show you an example. So there is a question and then there are 3 attributes. So instead of using a slider question type, or maybe if you want to take a feedback on say 3 attributes, or in fact more than that as well, 3, 4, 5, like any number of attributes, you want to take a feedback, how satisfied are you with the following: website, customer service, overall, and then you can have a matrix table appearing like this, and the respondent can select his feedback based on the question that you have asked. So this, you can see over here, these are radio buttons. So the respondent will be able to select only one answer option. If in case you want to give options for the respondent to select multiple answer options, you can use multi-select under matrix table. And you can edit the question, you can edit the row choices, and you can edit the column choices as well. Once you add this question, I'll just show you. I'll click on this. See, you can change. See, column, you can change the columns, column headings, and so on. Like if you want to edit the columns in bulk, you have these options. You want to edit the rows in bulk, you have these options. So this is how you add a matrix type question. So this was single select, this was multi-select. In case you want to have text boxes, so if you want the respondent to enter in a particular text, so instead of having the radio buttons or check boxes, what you can do is you can use spreadsheet. So these are again variants of the same question type, that is matrix table. Depends on what question that you are asking to the respondent and depends entirely on what survey that you are conducting. So as you can see check boxes over here, you will have text boxes appearing in the spreadsheet question type, right? Similarly, like in the same way, you can edit this particular question type as well, and then there will be text boxes appearing wherein the respondent will have to key in their response. And now then we have a side-by-side matrix. So this question, I'll give you an example where this kind of question can be used. Say you want to see what expectations does the respondent have for say 3 attributes, and how satisfied are they with what we have delivered on those 3 attributes. So you can see on the right hand side, how do you, or maybe see, these are the 3 attributes, that is customer service, product, packaging, on time arrival. So how important are these 3 attributes on the scale of 1 to 5? Not important to very important. So say somebody is giving the product packaging is really very important and is giving a 5 as the rating for it. And then coming to the satisfaction part, how satisfied are you with the product packaging that we are providing? And the respondent is giving your rating as 3. So now what you can analyze out of this is product packaging is really very important because he has rated it as 5, but the satisfaction is only 3. So you have a scope of improvement in this particular area. So this is how this question can be used. Very similar. The editing part is quite similar. You can see, you can simply do inline editing. Not important, very important. See, quite, you can select this, you can delete this. Similarly, you can edit all these fields over here. So if you want to add another dimension to it, you can simply click on this. There will be another dimension added to a question, which can be anything like. Similarly, add row, add columns. If you want to add not applicable option as well, you can click on this. You can see NA, not applicable options coming, appearing over here. So this was all about the side-by-side matrix. Then coming to the ordering questions. So ordering questions are basically, say you want to ask the respondent, you are giving out say 3 or 4 options and you want to ask the respondent to order this particular answer options as per his or her preferences. In that case, you will be using the ordering question types. There are 3 variants under this: rank order, constant sum, drag and drop. So rank order, you can see an example on the right hand side. Please rank 1 to 3. So there will be 3 options appearing: skiing, snowboarding, biking, and then there will be drop downs. So the respondent can select, give out ranks. So how important or how he or she prefers this particular activity. So skiing is the second preference and biking would be the first preference. So he can rank these answer options accordingly. So this is how a rank order question can be used. So drag and drop is again a similar, it is again a variant of it, but you can see on the right hand side, there will be again same options. The only thing is there will be no drop down option over here. The respondent will have to select a particular answer option and drag it on the right hand side. So this is how he can rate or rank all these 3 activities. So say biking is the first preference. He can select biking and drag it on the right hand side. I'll just show you how it looks like. See, this is the question. Please rank 1 to 3. Right? I'll not edit anything over here. I'll just preview this question. You will understand how this question looks like. This is how the question looks like. So biking is the first preference for me. I drag it, drop it over here. Then skiing and then snowboarding. Right? This is how you can use the drag and drop question type under ranking question or ordering question. Then we have a constant sum question. For example, say, yeah, again, we'll take the same example which is appearing over here. Please allocate 100 points on how you spend your income. Then essentials, entertainment, others. These are the three options. So constant sum, how would this work is, we want to allocate 100 points. So for essentials, say I'm giving, say 20 points. For entertainment, I'm giving 30 points. So by default, other will become 50 because the constant sum has to be 100, right? I'll again add this. I'll show you an example so that it is more clear to you. I'll not edit. I'll just preview it. You see, please allocate 100 points on how you spend your income. Say I give it as 20. I give this as 30. So instead of typing, I can use this slider. 36. This is a constant sum, that is 36. 41. So by default, now this is 41. I try to enter in 60. It will not take 60. It will by default be 59 because the constant sum has to be 100. So this is how this particular question type can be used. So this was all about ordering question type. Then we have image chooser. Now what image chooser question type is, so with your QuestionPro account, you can have images added to your QuestionPro account. There is an image library. I'll be coming to that particular section in some time from now. So you can have images added to your QuestionPro account and then use those images into your surveys. So for example, I will again give you an example. Consider your survey has a question like which e-commerce website do you use for shopping? And the options are Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Snapdeal, etc., etc. So instead of mentioning the names of these e-commerce websites, what you can also do is you can use their logos into your service. So what happens with this is it becomes easier for the respondent again to understand the question, and again it becomes easier to respond to those particular questions. So instead of mentioning all the text, using some images makes your survey a bit attractive as well, and it becomes easier for the respondent to answer the questions as well. So this is where you can use images. Under images, you can see, again, there are similar question type, that is select one, select many, rating. Select one is, again, please choose your favorite ice cream flavor, and then you give out all these options, and the respondent will have to select only one answer option out of this. So you can see these images. You will have to add these images. I'll come to the image library part after some time. Similarly, select many. Please choose your favorite ice cream flavor. So in this case, respondent can select multiple answer options. I'll give you another examples, the same example of e-commerce websites. So which e-commerce websites do you use for shopping? You can have the images of Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Snapdeal, etc. And then people can select multiple answer options based on their shopping preferences. Then we have rating, again similar, like how satisfied are you with this particular ice cream flavor, very dissatisfied, satisfied, etc. So you can have a thumbs up, thumbs down, or maybe a star rating as well. And you can have images for corresponding answer options. So this was all about image chooser. Then we have static content. I'll quickly check. There are a few questions coming in. I believe some questions are being answered. Right. So the questions are being taken care of, I believe. Moving on to the next question type, that is static content. So I've used the presentation text as an intro text to this particular survey. If, for example, your survey is a long survey and you have divided it into different sections, right? Section 1, section 2, section 3, multiple sections. You want to give out headings to the section. You can use section heading question type. So it will be somewhat like this. So this is, so you can have section 1. Similarly, so you can add this section heading at the start of each section. Similarly, you can have a subheading as well. And after you add a heading, you want to give out some introduction about that particular section, you can use a presentation text, which is again a descriptive text kind of thing. So quite straightforward, the static content question types. Then moving on to the next question type, that is miscellaneous. So under miscellaneous question type, we have a date and time question type. For example, you say you want to capture or maybe schedule of the webinar. I want to ask the schedule of the webinar wherein the date and time needs to be captured. So you can use this particular question type. When is the part 2 webinar scheduled? What date it is scheduled on and what time is it scheduled on? So you can simply click on this and you can edit the question and do some settings from the once you add the question. You can see, say date of birth. I want to display the time as well. Click on this. Right, this is how I can, if I want to use a 24-hour format, I can use this. So you can see all these options, the settings under the settings tab. So this is how the date and time question type can be used. Similarly, we have a calendar question type as well. Again, what is your date of birth? So you can use a calendar would come up and the respondent can select the date of birth from a calendar. Then we have maps question type. So maps question type, for example, I want to ask the respondent to which state from India does he or she belong to. So instead of asking him or her to type in the name of the entire state, what you can do is you can show the map of India and the respondent can simply select the state to which he or she belongs to and the answer would be captured. So again, this is how you can avoid asking the respondent to type in some text and use this some innovative ways of capturing the responses. So this is how maps question type can be used. So this was all about the basic question types, right? Then we have some certain advanced question types as well. Moving on to the advanced question types. So if a marketing student is doing a customer satisfaction survey, I'm not sure if you people are aware of all these question types, but I'll give you an idea so that once you come across such a requirement, you know that these question types are available and you can use these question types into your survey. So under customer satisfaction, there are 3 different questions. First one is Net Promoter Score. Now what Net Promoter Score is, I'd first like to explain you what a promoter and a detractor is. So any client or any customer, if he's giving you a very positive feedback and if he is willing to recommend you to his friends, he becomes a promoter for you. If somebody is giving a negative feedback and is very unlikely to recommend your product or your services to his or her friend or network, he becomes a detractor for you. So while doing some customer satisfaction surveys, you will be required to ask Net Promoter Score questions a lot. So for example, you can see an example on the right hand side. Considering your complete experience with our company, how likely would you be to recommend our products to a friend or colleague? And then there is a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being very unlikely and 10 being very likely. So if a respondent say is giving you feedback of like towards the very likely side of it, that is 7, 8, 9, 10. So that particular respondent becomes a promoter. And if somebody is giving you a negative feedback, that is uh, say towards very unlikely, that particular respondent is very unlikely to recommend the product to a friend or a colleague, he or she becomes a detractor for you. So this is how you calculate how many customers are satisfied with your product and how many are dissatisfied. And then accordingly, you can come to a conclusion and start working on it to increase your net promoter score. So this is how the net promoter score question type can be used. Then we have Van Westendorp question. So this particular question type, you can see an example and understand what this question type does. So the question is, at what price is the product too expensive to consider? And then you can see all these options. So the first thing is, at what price is the product too expensive to consider? And then you can have price ranges given out, right? So what happens with this is you can understand the price sensitivity of a particular customer, how price sensitive the respondent is to say your product or your services. So the first question can be, at what price is the product too expensive? The respondent can then use this slider and give out a response based on what he thinks about it. The next question, at what price is the product too cheap for you, right? So similarly, you can capture different responses for different things, and then you can understand the price sensitivity, and you can have the product priced considering the responses to this particular question. Then we have a budget scale question type. So for example, you're planning to design a budget. So say for each transportation category in the table below, please indicate what percentage, if any, of the need you would fund. So this is how, so this is basically the example that is given out is for the transportation facility or the logistics facility. And then there are different options given out. And this is how you can define the budget. Like why any company or any organization before start of a financial year or maybe starting of a new quarter, they have certain budget allocations to do. So there can be a survey from which you can define or derive to a particular budget, and you can use this particular question type in it. Moving to the next advanced question type, that is data reference question type. The first thing under it is reference data. So if you want to capture the zip code of the respondent, you can use the reference data. So you will have certain data uploaded into, while designing a survey, you can have certain data uploaded. For example, you're capturing the pin codes for say all the pin codes from India. You will have to enter in all the valid data. That is, whatever pin codes are available in India, you will have to mention it over there. And if somebody is entering a pin code, it will check, it will reference with the data that you have uploaded and check if the entered pin code matches to your data or not. So you can use reference data. Then we have a lookup table. So lookup table, I'll give you an example of lookup table. Say you want to ask a respondent which state do you belong to, and you do not want the respondent to enter in the state. So I took the same example for the maps question type, but for a lookup table, just for your understanding, again we'll consider the same question. So what you can do is you can have the question like, please select the state you live in, and then while designing the survey you will have to add in, I'll just show you where you will have to add in the states. So please select the state that you live in. So by default, you can see all the states from the US. You can change this, edit answers in bulk. You can change all these states and you can have Indian states added, right? I'll not do that, but then you can change and add Indian states over here. So how it would appear to a respondent is, so see, this is how the respondent can look up to a state and select a particular state and give out response to that particular question. I hope this is clear. Moving on to the next question type now. Then we have multi-tier lookup tables. Now multi-tier lookup table is, now your first question is which country do you belong to? Then the next question is which state from this particular country do you belong to? And the subsequent question is which city from this particular state do you belong to? So there can be multi-tier lookup table. So you will have to mention all the countries first in the first lookup table. In the next lookup table, you will have to mention the states of each country. So while designing, you will have to take some efforts, but it becomes easier for the respondent to answer in this particular question, and then it becomes easier on your part whenever you are analyzing the data. So if you want to filter out the data, once you have collected all the data, you want to do some kind of analysis. Say you want to do an analysis on how people from, say, Maharashtra have responded to your survey. So you can simply filter out that data based on the responses and you can do analysis based on it. So this is how multi-tier lookup table looks like. Then we have a store locator. Store locator question type is again a map kind of a question. So say for example the question is where is your, say, restaurant, where is this particular restaurant located? So what the respondent can do is select that area from the map and the response will be captured. So this is how store locator question can be used. Then we have image multimedia question. So image multimedia question, as I said earlier, you can have images added to your QuestionPro account. Similarly, you can use these questions itself as these images itself as questions, or maybe you can also have some videos used as questions. For example, you have prepared a YouTube video and you want to ask the respondent to rate that particular video based on their experience, give a feedback on that. So you can have this video uploaded to your survey. So video rating is, so you can have a video uploaded and people can give you star rating. You can see the options on the right hand side. What tube pulse rating is, people can give out feedback based on every frame of that particular video that you have uploaded. So for example, say first you have uploaded a video of say 5 minutes. First 0 to 1 minute, the respondent is not happy, can give you a rating for that as well. From 1 minute to 2 minutes, if he is happy, if he is satisfied, he can give you a rating as good. And from say there onwards, if the video is quite excellent, he can give you a rating. So there can be feedbacks or ratings given out in parts. This is how you can use tube pulse question type. Then we have a heat map question type. Again, say which state do you belong to is your question. You can give out an image of the map of India. People can give out responses selecting that particular area from the image. And this heat map report, so once we come to the report section in the third webinar, we will be coming to the heat map report as well. So there will be a heat map report that can be generated, and from that you can understand the concentration of respondents. So people from say Maharashtra, so if the number of people or the respondents from Maharashtra is higher, that particular area on the India map image will become orange color. You can see on the right hand side it will become orange or yellow color based on the number of responses that you have been receiving, or the area that has been selected on that particular image. So then moving on to the next question, moving on to the next section, that is mobile QR code. Now QR code, every question, every survey that you create will have a unique QR code generated. This QR code can be used and anybody, any respondent with a mobile device can simply scan the QR code and start answering the survey. Then we have a stopwatch. If you want to use a stopwatch question type, say for example, how much time does it take for you to reach from your place to your college, you can use a stopwatch question type as well. Then we have upload question types. So for example, you want to ask the respondent to upload a particular file to the survey, or maybe digitally sign that particular survey or that particular document. You can use these question types. Logic question types will be covered in the next webinar when we'll be covering survey logic. Okay, another important thing, QuestionPro supports conjoint analysis. I'm not sure if you people have heard about this particular technique, but conjoint analysis is a statistical analysis technique that is quite extensively used. So I'll give you an example of so under conjoint analysis, you can see choice models. This is basically conjoint analysis. So to do conjoint analysis, you will have to use these question types and then run a conjoint report. So what conjoint analysis is, I'll give you an idea. So for example, you are probably you're starting with a, say, a retail shop for television sets, and you want to check the consumer buying behavior. Like if you give out three attributes: brand, price, and size of the TV, which attributes are more important, or which attribute does the respondent prefer or give more importance to before selecting a television? So you can design this question type. You can see an example on the right hand side. If you were to buy a TV, select the most likely feature set you would go with. Then you have brand. You can have different brands under it. I'll just add this question type. So see, brand, you can have Sony, LG, Vizio. Say you want to add another level, that is, say, Samsung. Similarly, you can have different prices. And the third attribute is size of the television. If you want to add or maybe have another attribute added or a feature added, you can add that. So you'll have to prepare this combination over here. So the task count, say I'm keeping it as both as 2 and then adding it. So this question will appear in such a way to the respondents. I'll not type in the entire text, but then you'll have to add the question over here, and then the answer options would appear over here. I'll just preview this question type. So you can see if a respondent is, say the brand is LG, the price is 2000 and 1200. If the respondent is really very price sensitive and he is giving a preference to a lower price television, see, this is lower priced. So since I selected 2 as the options over there were 2 instances this question appeared. So with this, once you run the conjoint analysis report, what you will understand is whether the respondents are giving more importance to price or brand or size of the TV. And based on that particular analysis, you can probably plan your inventory in such a way that if somebody is more price sensitive, you can have the television sets with lesser price in more numbers than the television sets with higher price. So this is how a conjoint analysis can be run. So moving to the next question types, we have some time left with us. I'll try and cover. Then we have healthcare question type, that is human class question type. So if you are doing a survey in a healthcare industry, you can use this particular question type, that is human class question. So in human class question, see, the question will appear somewhat like this. Please click tab an area of discomfort, and an image would appear. So the respondent, say in healthcare industry, say a doctor is sharing this particular question type with his patients, then the patient can simply select the area of discomfort and give out response to this particular question type. So this is majorly used in the healthcare sector. So I have almost covered all the question types. What I would also like to show you here is, once you have started creating surveys, once you have added questions to the surveys, you can see a library from my surveys. See, you can see surveys, you can see questions from any survey, and then you can use in library, all the surveys would appear. If you want to use this particular, any particular question again into your new survey, you can use questions from this particular library. So this was all about the question types. I will quickly move on to few additional things. What I'll do is I'll go to some other survey. I would like to show you a few things. So once you have created a survey, you have added all these questions, you want to add, say, a page break somewhere, or maybe add a separator. You can see this option, separator. You want to add a page break. With page break, what will happen is the next question will appear on a new page. So you have added all these questions. Now you want to preview your survey, how the survey looks like. You click on the preview button, and then you can see how the survey looks like. So I had added a page break. You see the next question appears on the next page, and then all the questions, there are separators, and all the questions appear over here. Now this was all about the workspace. I will now quickly move on to interface. So once you have added questions, once you have added introduction text, you have added questions, you want to change the interface, how you want to change the look and feel of your service. You can go to interface, see header. I had added a title from here. If you could recollect, I had added a title from here. Just a moment. I'm so sorry for this. Just a moment. Right. While editing a survey, I had added a title over here. Right. Similar thing, if you want to change the interface of this particular title, this is basically the header. So you can see header can be edited. See, I've done it bold, underline, I've made it center line. If I want to add a hyperlink to it, I can do a hyperlink as well. So this is where you change the look and feel of the survey. Now this is the default theme that would appear with your survey. But if you want to change the themes, you can select any theme from all these options. Right? If you want to customize the theme as per the company's brand, if you're doing a particular project for a particular company, if you want to customize the theme as per the brand, you can do custom CSS. Like you will have to do a little bit of coding over here. If somebody from the IT department helps you with this, you can customize the look and feel of the survey or the appearance of the survey. If you want to add a logo, now as I mentioned earlier, you can have images added to your service and then use those images into your service. If you want to have a logo added, you can simply click on this and then you can upload a file and add a logo to your survey. So the logo would appear. See, I had added this particular logo. You see, I click on preview, the logo appears over here. So this is how you can change the interface. If you want to print the survey or maybe download it, if you want to share this particular survey in paper format with somebody, you can do it from there. Then moving on to languages. Now, another important thing is QuestionPro supports multilingual service. That is, you can have surveys designed into different languages. Now, by default, we have created this survey into English, but you are doing this this survey in some remote location and the respondents do not want to take the survey into English, but they want to take it into Hindi, for an example. So you can have the survey created into Hindi as well. So see, once I go to languages, now what will happen is if I select, see, add other language, I'll click on this, I select, see, all these languages are supported by QuestionPro. I want to do or design the survey into Hindi. I select Hindi and I save changes. With this, what will happen is the survey will appear. The first question that will appear to the respondent is, do you want to take the survey in English or Hindi? If somebody selects Hindi, then the survey would appear into Hindi. The only catch over here is, by default, all the system buttons will automatically be converted into Hindi, but the questions that you have added or the answer options that you have added, the translations for that you will have to import manually. So all the system buttons by default will be appear in Hindi. Just the questions and the answer options you will have to enter in the translations, and the survey can then be taken into Hindi as well. Similarly, you can have other languages as well. You can see, you can check the languages over here and you can include any of the languages from all these languages so that your surveys can be taken in that particular language. So this was all about languages. Moving on to security. So security, under security, the first thing is survey authentication. For example, you want the respondent to authenticate himself or herself before taking a survey. You can have survey authentication enabled. So survey authentication is like, you can have a password protected survey, you can have a global password set, or maybe you can have an email password combination. So anybody who is entering the right combination, that is email address and password, or maybe the username or password. So all these options, email invites only, password, like email detected automatically. So while we cover the send options, we will also cover how you upload. So under send options, there is one medium, that is email management tool, which can be used to send out invites over email. So under email, how you upload the email addresses, and along with the email addresses, how you can define. So while setting this survey authentication up, so if you have a global password protect, you will also have to inform the respondents what the password is. Or maybe if you are having an email password combination, then what combination needs to be used to log into the survey. So with this, what happens is only the people who have the password for that particular survey can respond to that particular survey. Nobody else can respond. So you can have survey authentication enabled using this. Then this is IT people would understand this more. Like if you want, now the QuestionPro tool in itself is quite secured. Like we are SAS compliant, we are trustee certified company. So all the compliances and the certifications required for in reference to the security of your data has been taken care of by QuestionPro. However, if you want to add another level of securities, you can use these options, that is SSL security. So the IT people, maybe if you have a professor from the IT department, he or she will be more, will be able to give you some information on this, but this is to make your surveys more secure. Then unique respondent enabling, disabling. So if you want a particular respondent to answer your survey only once, you will have to enable this. So with this enabled, the respondent can answer your survey only once. If he or she tries to answer, click on the survey link again and tries to answer it again, he will not be able to respond to that particular survey. So you will have to enable this if you want the respondent to take the survey only once. Save and continue option is, for example, your survey is quite long. There are say 25, 30, say 50 questions in your survey. A respondent cannot answer all the questions in one sitting. What you can do is you can include a save and continue option. So there would be a button that would appear on each page, save and continue. If a respondent clicks on that, at a later point of time, he or she can continue from wherever he has left on this particular survey. So you can enable this option if the survey is long. And then you can have a countdown timer as well. So if you want your survey to be active only for 10 minutes, if somebody is taking more than 10 minutes, you do not want him to allow him to answer that survey, you can have a countdown timer from here. So you can have a countdown time of 1 minute up to 90 minutes. So this was all about security of the service. Then this is the image library that I was referring to earlier. So you can have, when you go to images, right. So this is the image library. So you can have the images uploaded into the image library and then use all these images into your server. So you can simply browse it or maybe drag and drop it from your system and upload the images, multimedia, etc. into your image library. One important thing over here, now if you want to use a particular image as a question, right? So you can see an HTML code for each image. So once you copy this HTML code and then paste this HTML code in the question text while creating a survey or editing a survey, the image would appear there as a question. So for example, you have a pie chart maybe or some kind of an image that you wish to use as a question, you can simply upload it, select the HTML code and then paste it while adding a question. So this was all about the image library. Now, variables, I mentioned earlier, like if you want to pre-populate a text or maybe if you want to use some information. For example, I'll give you a simple example, that is my name, that is Tejas. If you want to use this text Tejas into your surveys, into your reports, into the email invite that you are sending, multiple locations you want to use this text, what you can do is you can define this text as a custom variable, right? So the QuestionPro supports up to 255 custom variables. So you can define all these custom variables and then use these custom variables into your service. So this will be covered in detail while we cover the send options in the next webinar, because in the send options, how the variables can be defined and then how they can be recalled, that can be covered quite extensively while we cover the send options. But yes, there can be up to 255 custom variables defined, and then that particular data can be used into your service, can be recalled into your service anytime. Then we come to the next tab, that is notifications. So once you have designed all the surveys, the entire survey, you have changed the interface, you have made it multilingual, etc. Now, while you send it out to the respondents, you want to have some notifications once a respondent has answered your survey. So say you want to send out a thank you email to the respondent, you can simply enable this. You can go to settings and then you can change the subject, change the body. So once a respondent has completed the survey, a thank you email will be sent out to that particular respondent. And admin confirmation email is, once a respondent has answered to your survey, you as an admin, survey admin, you will receive a notification. So you can have some new custom notifications prepared as well. So for example, if there is a dropout from your survey, you want a notification coming in, you can have a new notification group prepared, and you can have a criteria. So if this criteria is met, please send out an email notification to me. So this is where you configure the notifications. Then coming to the completion part. Now completion part is what you want to do once the survey has been answered. For example, now these are all the finish options. So once the respondent has finished answering your survey, what do you want to do with him? Like, do you want to show him a thank you page, like thank you for taking this survey, etc. Or maybe you want to automatic redirect, like, or you can automatically redirect the respondent to a particular website. So how this works is, the survey has been answered, he has submitted all the responses, automatically the respondent will be redirected to a website that you, or to a URL that you define over here. Or you can have a spotlight report. Spotlight report will be covered in the report section, but once the respondent has completed the survey, the spotlight report for that particular survey will appear, so that he can check the report and understand how other people have responded to this particular survey. Then you can also have forward to a friend. So if you select this, the respondent upon completion of the survey will be asked to forward the same survey to his or her friend. So what happens with this is, it is kind of a chain thing. Like, you have one respondent, he completes it, he sends it out to his friends. So this is how you can increase your sample size, and you can have more and more respondents responding to your surveys. So the most important thing with QuestionPro is, QuestionPro is the only online survey software provider who has rewards integrated with it. So you can also give out rewards to the respondents. So for example, if you want to give out a Flipkart voucher of say 100 rupees to a person who has completed your response, you can have rewards given out to these people. So you'll have to configure the rewards from this particular tab. So you can have the vouchers added, or some, say, a Flipkart voucher, or maybe an Amazon voucher, or something of that sort, or maybe a cash voucher as well. So you can configure it, and then in the finish options you can select rewards, and once the respondent has completed the survey, he or she will receive that reward. So there are more options which are majorly used by the corporates. So it is on the integration part. We believe it will not be useful to the students at this level, but yes, you can just play around with these options, and you can go through the help files, and you will understand what all these options are. So these are the finish options. Now I've chosen thank you page with the link. You can have the website address. You can change the link text. So there will be a link that would appear. So what text you want it to be, you can write it over here, and then message the thank you message that you want. So again, as I mentioned earlier, the custom variables that we define, you can add the custom variables as well. So say the custom variable 1 is defined as name of the survey taker. I can say thank you custom 1 for taking this survey. So if custom 1 is defined as the first name, if I'm taking this survey, it would appear as thank you Tejas for taking this survey. Then validation message is like, if you have made a particular question mandatory and a respondent has not answered that question, then what message will come up? You can change this text from here. So question marked with an asterisk are required or are mandatory. You can edit this question from here. Interactive survey tools. Interactive is like, if you make the survey mode interactive, so this is quite simple, that there would be a next button would not appear on the survey page. Once the respondent has answered all the questions on that particular page, he will automatically move on to the next page. So you will not have to click on the button called next or submit button. So you can make the survey interactive. So this was about completion rewards. I have already briefed you, so you can configure the qualifying criteria. You can have what gift card do you want to give out to the respondent, and then there can be an email contact where the respondents can contact you in reference to rewards. And then the last part is quota. So you can see, this is where you can change the status of the survey. Now you have prepared a survey, you have collected the data, you have collected the required number of responses. You want to now deactivate the survey. You can change the status to inactive from here, change it back to active from here. Close date, like if you want to keep your survey active only say up to end of this particular month, you can have a close date for it. And somebody who is trying to access the survey on 1st of June will not be able to answer the survey or take the survey. Response quota, if you want only 100 responses to your survey, you can have this response quota set as 100. Only 100 people will be able to answer your surveys. Then you can have weighted quota criteria is what I would suggest is, so I'll give you an example from here. So weighted quota criteria is, so see for example your question is how often do you conduct surveys, and then answer options are weekly, monthly, quarterly and annually. So you can have weighted quota given, like, so there are 4 answer options, so 25%, 25%, 25%. So each answer option you get a weight of 25%. So out of whatever responses that you collect, only 25% of people will be able to give weekly as an answer option. 25% people will be able to give monthly as an answer option, and so on. So this is how weighted quota can be used. So this, like, some surveys are such that they are required to use weighted quota. If in case in your research project you come across such requirement, we have this particular feature available. So I've tried covering all the question types and the entire edit survey tab. I could also see that a lot of questions were asked and were also answered over here. But then what I would suggest you people is, we will also be sharing the recording of this particular webinar with you people. So if in case if you want to refer it at any point of time, you can refer the video. But then whenever you are designing your survey for the research project, you will we understand that you will come across a lot of queries. We would like to encourage you people to write us to edu-india@questionpro.com with all your queries, and we will definitely get back to you and provide you personal assistance on whatever questions that you have. So that is it. Thank you all for attending this webinar today. We'll connect with you shortly for the part 2 webinar. If you have any questions, you can write to us. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.